Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Here is Mansions of Madness, the Sanctum of Twilight. This is a big box or medium-sized box expansion for Mansions of Madness. The box itself is a little bit cheaper than what you're normally going to get. It is just kind of cheap cardboard, if you would. So it's not something you're going to keep long-term to store the game necessarily, but you can see the box. The artwork on it is nice, maybe something you'd want to hang up in your room, not necessarily keep to store your game. This is all the components that you're going to get is what you see. Not as much as you're used to getting. So you're going to see the rule book, you're going to see some cards, some tiles, 4 miniatures total, 2 monsters and 2 good guys, and some tokens. The first thing you see is a advertisement. They spent a lot of money on this. There seems to be a lot of advertisement here about games that are coming out. And I always like to see these, especially 3 or 4 years down the road. It's always nice to see what was available in this time period. Here's the rule book. You're just going to get a page fold out. It's going to have the list of the components, but no pictures, as I normally like. And the new expansion icon you can see on all the good things if you want to sort it out. You have a few additional rules here, basically moving tiles and how that works, and overlapping tiles that can be done, and the new keyword restraint. And you're going to get these new restraint tokens. So when a monster activates a group, may choose to discard a restraint from a monster's space. If they do, the monster forfeits its movement. The space that contains a restraint does not need to be evaded, so you can kind of get away. It just signifies that the monster would be tied up or restrained in some way, of course. The rules are very simple. You can read them just a few minutes and you'll be ready to play. Let's take a look at everything that you get here. Like I said before, it's not as much as you have in other packages. It seems like the most light, and the price isn't exactly cheap. So let's take a look at these tiles. What you're going to get here are these medium-sized tiles, and you're going to get the two-sided, the inner sanctum that you didn't have before. You're going to have the pharmacy, and on the other side, you're going to have the room. And you're going to get a couple, a lounge, and these are all double-sided. There's some outside ones that's float, this parade float, very different. It's part 1. You're going to have part 2 on the other side of that. Now here comes the big one. You're going to get one big side with kind of like a new foyer with some dungeons in it, where people would be down there for evil purposes, of course. And then another big tile on the other side. And you're only going to get one of these in this package, but you can see the cafe is really cool. I like how the lighting is on that. So 4 miniatures is good. You're going to have 2 people. You're going to have Lily Chen, who is going to be your martial artist. You can see lots of 4s and 3s over there. When you're attacking unarmed, if a monster would suffer 1 or more damage, it suffers 2. She's really good without weapons. So she's a pretty good fighter if you like that. It's a pretty good superpower that she has there. And if you pick something up, you can give it away and have her fight with nothing. And Charlie Kane is one of my favorite people to play with. He's the politician. The fat old white guy, stereotypically. Not a lot of agility, but he's really good at getting a deal done. Only 5 health, but he's really smart. Has a good brain there. His influence is really high, but his agility is really low. Also, he has a power while within range of a person, you may convert a clue to a success. He activates the ability once per turn. So that's pretty good that you can get a little bit more successes out of him. I do like playing Charlie Kane. I like being in character with him and role-playing him quite a bit. And I do like that power. It can be pretty powerful, which is why they limit it to only once per turn. But you're going to have to know how to play him. He's not going to be your fighter. He's not going to run around a whole lot. But he's going to be helping other people. So here is the Lily Chen miniature. You can see she's in her martial arts pose. And I think this is really cool. This one's going to look really good all painted up for the quality of miniature you're going to get here. But, you know, it's your stereotypical martial artist, except for they made it female. Now, Charlie Kane, we've seen him before. He's, you know, big fat old white guy with power and money. I like a cigar that he has in his hands. He's a very good addition to this set, absolutely. And I like including him in my games. Now you're going to get these 2 miniatures here. These are 2 monsters you're going to get in this set. They are the Wraith, which will be a 2 and a 6, as you can see. And the tiles are pretty much normal. With the app, the wording on the back isn't as useful as it used to be in the old sets. So you're going to get 2 of these, and this is kind of what it's going to look like. It has a nice action pose to it, if I can get the focus. And you see that hand coming at you. Ooh, I'm going to grab you. But it's a really cool action shot how she's coming at you to grab you. They don't always stick that well in there, so with these, you're kind of notorious for having to glue these down. But I do like this miniature, even though it's only a couple of them. And there are no big miniatures in this one. You get a couple extra doors here and patterns that you'll have. You've seen that before. A few clue tokens that will be included in this one. Now, you're going to get a lot of people in this one. So these little NPC characters that you'll be seeing. I don't want to spoil anything, so, I'll just show you. But you do get quite a bunch of new characters you're going to be introduced to and going through missions with and learning about who they are. Not necessarily people that you control, but people that you will meet during your endeavors. Okay, so these new restraint tokens you're going to get a bunch of those that will be put out. You can see they are fairly thick. FFG always puts out nice components and tiles of a certain quality that we've become accustomed to. I do like the little insignia on it. They're thick enough. They look great. No problems here whatsoever. Now, overall, with Mansions of Madness, Sanctum of Twilight, I find this to be a decent expansion. If you're going to be in the Mansions of Madness universe, you are going to be adding these things in. You're only getting 2 of these guys. It's not a whole lot, but it's the apps that you're really buying for here. You're really going to want those additional levels and the different randomness that they're going to be put into the other scenarios using those tiles, and that's kind of what you're buying in. If you're playing Mansions of Madness, you need to add this in. If you're not going to be in Mansions of Madness, you're kind of at a thing where you're not playing it as much, this may give you some regeneration into the series, or it may not be worth your money. I feel like the price is still kind of high for these FFG expansions, but you can't continue on the series without buying a set like this. For me, this is going to be a keeper. I understand that if you're already over Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition or don't want to play it or don't want more scenarios and just done, it might not be for you. But for me, this is an absolute keeper, and my family loves this game. Okay, let's take a look at these cards. You're going to see new card decks that you're going to get for each of the different things. This will be a little bit more spoilery, so I wanted to keep it at the end. But let's go through it a little bit and see what we have here. And there's going to be some spoilers in here, so just be aware of it if you don't want to see anything. So you get some new health cards here, and there's only 2 of them that are included. You're going to get some new stamina cards that will be included. Nothing really big. And you're going to get some of the new thing you're going to get here is some new insane cards, and those will be included in the package. You just shuffle those into your normal deck, and you're fine. Now here's where we're going to start seeing some new things that we haven't seen before. Binding. Place a restraint in a space with it, then flip this card. And then you have Spectral Razor, which is a new weapon that you'll be able to use. Very Doctor Strange-esque, right? Yeah. And you're going to get quite a few of those that are going to be in the game. And I'm trying to keep this as spoilerific as possible. Alright, let's take a look at these new items that you're going to get. You're going to get the Twilight Delirium, this Ancient Jewel Sparkles, Membership Ring. Quite a few of those are going to be in here. So you're going to be looking for those as you go through some scenarios. Now, as for these spells, right here you're going to see Stress that you're going to be after re-rolling, converting dice results and resolve. You must remove a success from your dice pool because you're stressed out. That is not going to be a good place to be. You don't never have enough successes, and getting rid of those is not the way to go either. And then we have these items that we're going to see. The first one is Binding Powder. Place a restraint in space within range. Once again, we're seeing that new binding come out. Lucky Ring. Once per round, you may reroll all your dice. Got some painkillers that will get rid of some of that nasty stuff. A Riot Whistle. Once per round, you and another investigator within range may reroll a number of dice while evading. So running from monsters is going to become a lot more important, and that Riot Whistle is going to help out with that. Silver Twilight Dagger is one thing I like. You may deal 1 additional damage when you have spells. So if you have somebody who's doing a spell type of character, then this little dagger will help out quite a bit. The Sword Cane, you may convert any clue to a omen sign while attacking with this card, and you may flip this card over. Effects cannot cause you to drop items unless you choose to. Track Shoes, you may move 1 additional space. I love the Track Shoes. I like being able to move around the board. And Convincing Dummy, which is hilarious. Place a restraint in your space so they kind of see the dummy and they think somebody's there and it's not. So I kind of like how these go, and these are very thematic sets. I like those cards quite a bit. Overall, very, very good. I'm very happy with this expansion. The price could have been a little bit lower. I think some people are going to struggle with the price for what you get in the box. But overall, I have to say, I'm very happy with it, and I'll be keeping this. I do like the new thematic cards that are in the box. Thumbs up for that. And everything else. I would say overall this is a keeper for me, but this is a series that I really like. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you liked it, please like it and hit that little subscribe button. That really helps out the channel, lets us know that you're getting the videos that you want. If you agreed or disagree with what I said, feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and I promise that I will comment back. Thanks for watching, and everybody else, keep playing.